Hey, how's it going, Crystal?
Good, how are you? Just turning on my camera.
Okay.
Okay, can you see me?
Yes, I can. How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. I can't complain. I was just finishing up my last meeting, so that had me a couple moments behind. But glad that we get a chance to chat a little bit this morning.
Yeah.
So I had met your mom when she came to my home to notarize some documents for me.
Yeah, she told me.
So she was telling me about you. I was telling her about how I was looking for an assistant. The assistant that I formerly had, she just was very entrepreneurial mindset as well, and had a lot of projects that she had going on, and just became a little bit too busy for me. So I wished her well, and now I'm looking for somebody that can replace her. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I graduated from Georgia State University about 2 years ago. So I went to school for human learning development. So with that, I was looking to work with kids who have like developmental delays. So with a concentration in deaf studies, so to work with kids who are deaf and hard of hearing. I just recently, I was working with kids with autism just now. So like I work with kids who are on the autism spectrum. But I find myself to be very independent. Like I'm good at like working alone. Like I don't need to be like, watched 24/7. I think that I'm a good learner, like an easy learner. You tell me to do something once and I am pretty good like on catching on. I find that I am very like smart or pretty, able to work technology. So computers, iPhones, stuff like that. Like I'm very tech savvy. What else? Let's see. Yeah, I think those are like my biggest like things that I like to tell people. Like I don't need a lot of like supervision. Like you tell me to do something, like I said, I know how to do it. I can get it done in a timely manner. I'm very hardworking. I like to get things done prompt on time. I don't like to be like, behind. I like to be on time with a lot of things. So like I'm prompt going places, and with like if I have a task or an assignment, I like to do those in a timely manner as well.
Okay. So where are you currently working?
Right now, I am working at an autism center. It's called Hope Bridge. So that's in Marietta. So I'm working with kids, like I said, with autism on the spectrum. They range from like 2 years old to about 10 years old, or 10 or 11 years old at the oldest.
Okay. And so are you trying to step away from that job altogether? Is it something that, okay. Yeah. And what's the reason? You just don't like it, or?
Well, it's not that. It's just like, I'm not 100% sure if that's really the route that I want to go. Like I do enjoy working with children, but it can be very exhausting sometimes, like depending on the kid, because like I said, it's a spectrum. So you have kids that have very mild autistic behaviors, and then you have kids who are very like aggressive. So like it can be a lot on a daily basis, because it's a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job, and it can be very tiring. And while I know like working is not going to be like a breeze all the time, like I expect to be faced with challenges and stuff like that, like with any job that I work at, but it can be exhausting, and I'm just not really sure like if that's what I want to do 100%. So I'm just looking to kind of find something else and see what, like, find my passion, I think, more so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so is this the field that you went to school for? I know you said it was human organ development.
Human learning development.
Human learning development. Okay.
With that, I was looking to go into speech pathology, but I kind of just have found myself trying to really find my footing and find like what it is that I truly love and like want to be in. So yeah.
Okay. What goals do you have for yourself over the next 12 months?
12 months. I definitely do want to be able to learn a lot of skills. Like my mom was telling me that you are an entrepreneur in a lot of ways. Like you have a lot of skills, like you know a lot of things, you're able to teach people other things. I definitely want to be able to acquire more skills and be able to kind of work towards working for myself, maybe becoming like an entrepreneur like yourself and being able to create my own schedule, have a little more flexibility. So within the next 12 months, I would say like kind of just earning enough skills, enough money, enough like knowledge to kind of be able to do things and run things like on my own, versus working for a corporate company, maybe, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have reliable transportation?
Yes.
Okay. What side of town do you live on?
We are in Mableton. So that's like borderline Cobb County,
Okay.
Fulton County, yeah.
And you said you're very tech savvy. Can you expound on that just a little bit more?
So I know how to work Microsoft, Excel, internet, like, Chrome, Safari, stuff like that. Like if you need me to like Google search something or book flights, stuff like that. Like I'm good on my phone or on a laptop because I have Apple devices, so MacBook, an iPhone. So I'm pretty good with like Apple devices overall. And then I know like pretty much like I feel if you know how to work those kind of things, you are able to work PCs as well or Android devices as well. But I'm pretty good with Microsoft, PowerPoint, Excel, like all of the Microsoft applications, and then just working like computer apps and phone apps, like just knowing how to navigate those as well pretty easily.
And you said you're pretty prompt. So with your job that you're at now, how long have you been there?
I started last September.
Okay, so almost about a year. How many times would you say you've been late?
Maybe 3. No more than like 5, but really I try my best to be on time all the time. And if I do realize that like, oh, I may be a couple minutes behind, I'm definitely always going to reach out to a manager or whoever like I'm working for and let them know like, hey, such and such, like I may be running a couple minutes behind. Just as a heads up. And I may not be behind, but I'd rather, explain or like, let you know that I'd be running behind versus just be behind and not say anything, whether I pull up on time or a couple minutes behind like I might have. So I like to, communicate that as well.
You get along with your co-workers? Life is a gamble to some people, but it does not have to be, especially when you have good credit. I started my credit repair company, but not only for people like you, but people like myself. I went years with having bad credit, paying extra for cars that I wanted to drive, not being able to purchase the home that I wanted to purchase. But once I got it all together, I've been able to purchase my dream house, I've been able to purchase my dream cars, and really just have my way out here. And I know you want to be able to do the same. So make sure you sign up for my credit repair program. We can help you get trade lines, all negative items removed off of your credit reports. And guess what? We can even get those student loans deleted. Yeah, you ain't gotta wait on Biden. We got you right here at DHG University. So visit us at dhguniversity.com or shoot us an email at info@dhguniversity.com.
Absolutely. I actually like my coworkers a lot.
Like you like them more than you like the job, huh?
Say that again?
You like them more than you like the job, huh?
I think so. It's kind of crazy because we talk about that a lot. Like sometimes you stay at a job because of the people you work with. They kind of make you going to work a little bit better. Like your coworkers can make your experience or your time at work better versus not having anybody that you kind of get along with at work. So I definitely like my coworkers. They're definitely people that I would keep in contact with, but it's not enough, like to keep me at a company for years if I just genuinely don't like it,
Understood. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to work from home?
I haven't had any work from home jobs. I definitely have been, since with like the pandemic, I've been looking for or open to doing like work from home positions, but I haven't had any yet. Okay.
And so how do you feel about the pandemic? How do you feel about COVID? Are you have you had it? Are you scared of getting it? Are you one of those type of people that wear a mask all the time? Are you still trying to move forward with everyday life? Or
I definitely will say I'm definitely still trying to move forward with everyday life. I do wear my mask. I have had COVID like last year, so December. It was very mild, more like a stuffy nose. more so. So it was like really just like a common cold for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to, because I was going to work and around my family, I just wanted to be sure, like, that it wasn't just a common cold. So of course I went and did the COVID test. But I definitely wear my mask every day when I'm out. I'm wearing my mask. I definitely am trying to, like, I'm hoping that things can kind of move forward and we can kind of get back to like regularly scheduled program with the pandemic. I mean, the vaccine talk is just, everybody has their own opinion about that. And I feel like you have the right to have your opinion on it. But, I just hope sooner versus later things can get, because things are open, but I've been hearing a lot of talk about a shutdown coming possibly again. And I just hope if the shutdown happens that things can actually be, progressive. Give me one. All right, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. You're at work right now?
No, I'm not. I'm actually on vacation, but they have like the room service people come in, so she can drop off some water.
Okay, where are you at for vacation?
We're in St. Martin.
Okay, nice. Is it nice over there? I've never been to St. Martin before.
It's nice. The weather's a little, like it's kind of very much like Florida weather. So it's sunny when it's sunny, but it's raining on and off sometimes too.
Oh, okay.
So
I guess
a little
like it has been in Atlanta all summer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's not bad. It's beautiful. The water is beautiful out here, though, I will say.
I think that's about it. I'll tell you just a little bit about myself. So, not sure what information your mom passed along, and honestly don't remember, how much I even told her about myself. But I'm a serial entrepreneur, here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've lived here probably for about 12 years. I own several restaurants. I own about 5 restaurants. Some of them are co-owned with the rapper 2 Chainz. I also own 3 salon suites, and just kind of have a lot going on. I'm working on doing a UPS store, so purchasing into their franchise. I'm also working on franchising my Remedy Salon Suites brand. So always taking on new projects, always doing a lot of things. I recently purchased my home December of last year, and so just with a house, you're just always doing projects and doing many different things. So recently got engaged to my fiance in February. And thank you. And so we have quite a bit going on. So just have a very, very very busy business life and personal life. So working for me could entail doing lots of different things. I do a lot of traveling, so booking travel, doing administrative things, for my businesses, for myself, returning items, purchasing items, helping with emails. I've got a credit repair company, and so normally I like to bring on female assistants because the guy that I have working for my credit repair company is a guy, and so with some of my female clients, we have to kind of call into the credit bureaus to challenge different things. So I need to have a female in doing that. What else? So it's just a lot that I have going on, and so looking to bring on somebody part-time initially. It's kind of a trial thing, and then if I like that person, it could definitely turn into a full-time position. Is that something that you would still be interested in? Because I know that you are looking to leave your current position.
Yeah, I think full-time could be good, I guess. Like, what would you consider like full-time hour-wise? Like, because at my company, full-time is like anything less than 30. So
really?
Is anything less than 30 at my company. So it just, I guess, depends on like,
okay.
Part-time hours is different.
Yeah, so I'm looking for about 20 hours a week right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. And so a lot of it would be, some of it may be working from home, some of it may be doing various errands. Of course, if you're doing a lot of errands, there would be some type of gas stipend included. It could include coming to my home. I mean, my last assistant, she even helped my fiance move up here from Miami. That was kind of totally something that I normally would not have asked, but she kind of volunteered herself. But she also kind of came and helped us unpack things. So it could just be a plethora of different things. It could be working inside the businesses. Now, not actually serving or bartending or anything like that, but maybe accompanying me to a meeting, taking some notes, Maybe possibly picking up flyers or materials or office supplies and dropping them off to one of the businesses. So something of that nature. Do you like to go out much?
I go out every now and then. Sometimes I'm like wanting to go out more than others, but I definitely do like the more like chill side. Like I prefer like a lounge, restaurant/lounge vibe. Like that's more of my vibe versus like a club.
Gotcha.
I do go out to clubs every now and then, but like I said, restaurants, vibes, brunch, that kind of stuff. I would prefer that if I go out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I think if we decided that this was a good fit, within the first couple of weeks, you would be able to really see, what the job entailed and really determine if it's something that's for you or not. I do have a couple more people that I'm going to be interviewing, and I plan to finish those interviews by the end of next week, and then make a decision very quickly thereafter. So what I'll do in the meantime is I'll send you over what the compensation for the position would be, as well as the hours and just a little bit more information. And then we'll kind of go from there and hopefully touch bases towards the latter part of next week, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so man, you guys just got to hear me interview somebody that could possibly be a potential assistant for me. So one thing to always kind of keep in mind when you're doing business and just kind of moving around, you never know who you're going to meet. So recently I posted about and talked about how I had purchased a new vehicle, and it was actually from Rolls-Royce. And so they do things a little differently. They actually send somebody out to your home to notarize all of the paperwork. And so the lady who came, I started a rapport with her, and I was actually talking to her about being a potential assistant for me. Believe it or not, most of my assistants have been older individuals, over age 30, over age 40. However, she wanted to recommend her daughter. She said that her daughter really didn't like where she was currently working, and she thought that this would be something good for her daughter. So one of the reasons why I wanted this to be a YouTube episode is because people are always looking for good help, and a lot of times we have to do a good job in the interviews by asking some of the right questions. So some of the things that I like to find out, number one, which no one has ever really asked me this when I was in the field of trying to get a job, is what your goals are. That's so important because that's going to tell you if you have somebody, number one, that even sets goals. Two, if their goals align in working for you. It's very, very important to know what an individual wants for themselves. It's not just about what you want as the employer, but it's about what the employee wants as well. And I always use the term, if we determine that this is a good fit for each other. So it's not just me wanting to hire you, but it's you wanting to be an employee of mine as well. And it's so, so important to make sure that you're doing that. Another thing that I asked her about is compensation. What is she currently making? Because if you've got somebody that's right now making $100,000 a year, and your position is only going to pay $50,000 a year, then you're wasting both of you all's time, So that's something to keep in mind as well. Also, I've had people who have been making much more than I was willing to pay and was willing to accept a much lower paid position and working for me and doing something totally different. Most of the time, those people are not going to last for a long period of time. So that's definitely something to keep in mind as well. Another thing that I ask is if they have reliable transportation and where they live. I have hired people before, and believe it or not, one of my current directors of operations, he does not have a vehicle. And at times has kind of, come to me and saying, hey, I need more money, because of Uber, those type of situations. Now, he is an amazing staff member, and so I've learned to overlook that. However, you don't want to get into something where people are putting some of their personal issues onto you. It's hard enough running business as well, and it's really hard for people to be able to get to point A and point B without reliable transportation. So that's something that's very, very important. Also, where they live. My home is kind of right in the middle of Atlanta. I don't want to hire somebody who lives 45 minutes away. Even when I'm looking for my general managers, let's say you've got an ESCO South, which is in Morrow, Georgia. I don't want to hire a GM that's in Alpharetta. Eventually that commute is going to drag on them, and it's going to become a negative part of the job for them. So these are all things that you want to keep in mind. I've even asked people before, and this young lady, I didn't have to ask her because I found out a few things about her from her mother, but I've asked people if they have kids, if they're in relationships. A lot of times people's relationships will get involved, especially if they're in something that's messy or toxic or non-productive. If you've got a single mother that has a lot of kids but doesn't have a lot of help, that can end up deterring them from the job as well. So these things, you don't want to get into discrimination lawsuits, and there's so many things you can be sued for as an employer, but you want to ask enough questions that's going to help you make a good decision when bringing on someone else. Another thing that I ask, and it's just something totally new now, is what are your thoughts about COVID? I need people that are going to be upwardly mobile, that are going to look at protecting themselves, whether it's wearing a mask, getting a vaccine, etc., but not people that are going to be constantly putting themselves in jeopardy to get COVID and then having to come to me and take time off, or either just no longer wanting to work in the environment where they are around a lot of people. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I asked her about whether or not she likes to go out, because being involved with some of my businesses, there may be some drinking that's involved, individuals doing party drugs at some of these restaurants, and I don't want people that will be able to fall susceptible to those type of things and that would deter them from their goals, or distract their mind. So that's definitely something else to keep in mind as well. So another thing with me, so I never just interview just one person for that position. No matter how much I like them, I could be totally crazy about them. I always try to interview at least 3 to 4 people. So, and you really just have to know what you're looking for. A lot of times when you're starting to grow a business, sometimes you don't really know what you're looking for. And so you have to do your research, go and research that position that you're looking to fill. Research how much that position normally pays. You don't want to undercut somebody. You want to be right there within the industry standards when it comes to pay and different things of that nature. So, but anyways, I thought the young lady was very interesting. I like that she was a self-starter, seems to be self-motivated, very tech savvy. I personally generally do not try to hire individuals as young as her, because a lot of times they just really don't know what they want in life. And so, we live in a time of a lot of millennials where everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but they really don't know what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Once people realize that as the boss, you don't want to eat last, a lot of people want to get out of it. And, it really takes a lot. That's just like today. I don't feel like filming today. I don't feel like having the meetings that I have today, but guess what? You've got to do it. And so being an entrepreneur, nobody's going to tell you have to do it. You just have to have it in you, So those are some things to keep in mind, guys, especially when you're trying to look for that perfect staff member. And keep in mind, nobody's perfect, So that's something to keep in mind as well. I probably shouldn't have used the words perfect, but when you're trying to put together that right team. And when it comes to a personal assistant as well, you want to make sure that it's somebody that you can vibe with and get along with, because you will have to be talking to them a little more than others. So stay tuned. We'll see who I end up hiring. And don't forget to check out all of my courses. They're on dhguniversity.com, as well as courses.whoissnoop.com. Till next time.